It has pleased the Most High that this channel has a remarkable record of predicting the future, predicting what is coming. And this is not a bragging video, because our mission here is not to predict. This is not a prediction channel. Our mission, very clearly stated, is all for a better Kenya. And many times it helps when people are prepared for what is coming. And the big question on the minds of many Kenyans is what next? Because the country is in a mess. We have a leadership that is insisting every day, but continuing to blunder after blunder after blunder. Health system on the brink, almost kwisha maneno. Education system on the brink, almost kwisha maneno. The economy, the economy, wacha tu. And of course the narrative. Give this regime time. Give them time. Things will be good. But of course no Kenyan is buying that. And so the nagging question is, what next? That is what my show is about today. And I believe the answer to that question will surprise most of us. And as usual, we shall keep this very simple. Grade 1, grade 2 stuff, so that we all understand. Twende kazi. Now, when you lose your way and you want to go somewhere, what is the best way of getting back on track? Well, the answer is very simple. I once got lost late at night, and I just went to the last point, the last familiar point, which I understood well. And then I carefully worked my way to my destination, no problem. And so, don't you think that will also work like a charm in our case? I believe so. And so, allow me to go back. Now in the year 2023, I did a video on this channel that many looked at and said, what rubbish. What is Chris talking about? How can a mere finance bill bring down a government? Allow me very briefly to take you to that video. Yeah, please listen between the lines and you'll understand very clearly where we're going. I'll be back. What are they thinking? Especially when they turn on the news and they listen to our politicians. This thing must pass. Kenyans, poor Kenyans need houses. You poor people, don't be fooled. These rich people already have houses. They don't want you to have houses. Don't be fooled. Okay? Pass the finance bill 2023 and kila kitu itakuwa sawa sawa. Everything will be okay. And you're telling this to a person who has not eaten for 2 days. And your brain is telling you this narrative will work with such a person. You know, the biggest mistake this government has made is to bring the finance bill out into the open and at the very top of the agenda of the Kenyan people. This is what I mean. You know, this is not the first finance bill Kenya's had. We have had a finance bill every year since independence. Every year. The finance bill is the budgeting of government for the next year. It has happened every year. But many Kenyans have even ignored it. They're not interested. They don't know what it is. They don't know what this animal is. And therefore it has passed quietly. Deals have been made in parliament and it has passed quietly. But now some bright Kenyan somewhere has decided that we're going to do everything in our power to attract attention to this bill. Because our driving force is that we need money. We need money to fulfill our promises. We need money to run the government. We need money so that some of us loot it, and become billionaires overnight. We need money. And anyway, we have the numbers in parliament. Kwani iko nini? Hey, my friend, in case you have not realized it, one day when historians write about this period in Kenyan history, they will call what you have done a fatal mistake, a fatal error of judgment. That is precisely what they'll call it. Because instead of raising that extra trillion you wanted to raise, you will not even raise what was being raised before. Maybe even not half of it. Because the people you're trying to raise that money from, you have attracted their attention. You have attracted their attention to this thing. And now, public emotion is no. Even when you tell them you need to raise money so that you can pay for fuel, so that they can survive, goods and services can reach where they are, they can be able to live a normal life the way they're living now. Even when you tell them that, they will tell you, we don't want. And you're in politics. You encounter this every day. And you're in politics. And you want to rule like you're the teacher of a standard 1 class. I hear it's called grade 1 these days. You're the teacher in a grade 1 class. You want to rule the country called Kenya the way that teacher rules that class. Will you succeed? Folks, tell me. Will these guys succeed? Are they succeeding? Are they going anywhere? Bottom line, my friends, prepare yourselves for the mother of all demonstrations. And at the same time, be very careful for what you wish for. Because the consequences may not be what you expect. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against demonstrations. I'm not against Kenyans fighting for their rights. I'm not against any of that. But let us prepare ourselves for the consequences. It is not what we think. But guess what? There is no other way. When tyranny comes and sits on you, there is no other way. Sadly, hakuna njia ingine. People have to stand up and say no. With the benefit of hindsight, we can see very clearly that the 2023 finance bill, which passed successfully, was the beginning of the end of the Ruto regime. We can now see that very clearly. But what followed was an even crazier prediction. I will quickly remind you with a single picture, that bridge. And you remember this was before the 2022 presidential elections. And we said that what we can see is the promised land on the other side, Canaan if you like. However, to get there, there is this bridge, very narrow, in bad repair, dangerous, that we must cross to reach the promised land. I believe right now, on that bridge, somewhere in the middle. Overturn, 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 until he comes, he whose right it is. You remember the prophecy by that Nigerian prophetess? With the benefit of hindsight, we can clearly see that the first overturn was the nullification of President Uhuru Kenyatta's election in 2017. A clear overturn, and Uhuru was not able to rule without the help of Raila Amolo Odinga. Okay, remember the handshake. And then the second overturn is what we're about to witness. William Samoei Ruto. He has not been able to rule even with Raila Odinga. Folks, this thing is clearly spiritual. And it is for a very good reason. Kenya is a land of destiny. And Kenya's destiny cannot be stopped by anybody. Now, I believe that the next ruler of Kenya will also result in an overturn. And what we're waiting for now is our David. And I am persuaded our David will be a political nobody, not a prominent politician, never been in the political class. He will come from nowhere, just like young shepherd boy David. I am persuaded that that is the one whose right it is. Where will he come from? What does he look like? What exactly will he do? I don't know. But I am convinced that there is an interim leader coming, but he'll only pave way for he whose right it is. Of course, after the final overturn. But let's wait and see, shall we? The very latest weekly intelligence briefings number 127. If you're a subscriber, look out for it in your inbox, and I'm sure you'll find it very interesting. Now, in case you're not yet a subscriber to the weekly intelligence briefings, you can see the rates for that on your screens right now. But even better, if you're in a position, you can get the golden key or the golden pass for only Kenya shillings 6,333. And then you'll be able to get all WABs, all highly sensitive special reports, and there's one due very soon. Yeah? You'll be able to get all those without ever worrying about payment again. You can see details in front of your screens right now on what you need to do. Please take action. This is a very special offer for this golden pass. It is ending very, very soon. So I strongly advise you take full advantage before it concludes and you find yourself in that unfortunate situation where you've been locked out. Okay, so please hurry. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.